They said you wanted to see me, Coach?
Yeah, man. Step on up into my office. It's HomeSpun Sports with Coach John Montgomery. Sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. Welcome. We're mighty glad you're here today. You tuned in to HomeSpun Sports. It's sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. I am your host, Coach John Montgomery. And up in Oklahoma City, my show, Nuff Ride or Die. What's up, Slim?
What's going on with you, Coach? How you doing today?
Oh, Slim. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Yeah, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this thing rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we've added a brand new feature to HomeSpun Sports. I know you're going to enjoy this. And so now, without any further ado, I give to you Slim's Pickens.
The road to Atlanta and the 2021 celebration was made even more clear last Saturday when Jackson State marched into Louis Cruz Stadium and obliterated Alabama A&M in their homecoming, 61-15. Other than the trappings of homecoming, the grim reality is that the Bulldogs do not have any teeth on defense. Alabama A&M gave up 247 yards on the ground at 8.8 per rush attempt. Now, it is true, Akil Glass is very talented. He's thrown for 1,804 yards and 16 touchdowns in the first 5 games. The Bulldogs of Normals Hill are going to have to find a defense if they intend to repeat their spring celebration football championship. In the West, first things first. For Prairie View A&M, they cannot afford to overlook an 0-6 Bethune-Cookman on the road. Make no doubt about it, Eric Dooley and his staff are well aware of the prospect of taking on Southern in Baton Rouge, riding a 4-game winning streak. From 1949 to 2019, since there was no game in 2020 due to COVID, Prairie View has lost to Southern 50 times, only winning 19 of those matches. Speaking of winning, man, I am so glad trouble does not last always. Big shout out and congratulations to my boys, my alma mater, Texas Southern University, for taking down Southern yesterday, 35-31. Stay tuned, sports fans. And that's Slim's Pickens.
Go, my brother.
Appreciate that, Coach.
Slim. Man, what a Saturday we had in college football.
Tell me about it.
Slim, I'll be completely transparent. How my slogans die. Texas A&M snapped Alabama's 19-game win streak.
Sure did, Coach.
With their second-team quarterback.
Sure did.
Texas A&M snapped Alabama's 100-game winning streak against unranked opponents and snapped Nick Saban's record of 24 straight victories against his former assistant coaches. So now, Alabama did not bring their A game. No question about it. There were 10 unanswered points in the final 3 minutes that allowed the Fighting Farmers to snatch a victory from the number one team in the country, 41-38.
Yeah. So basically, Pops, what you're trying to tell me is Georgia's going to go to number one. Iowa hung in there to beat Penn State 23-20. And Cincinnati blew out Temple 52-3.
Yep.
Now, Dad, Cincinnati was ranked number 5 going into that game. And style points is going to count. My whole thing is there's going to be a new non-Power 5 ranked team in the Final Four. My whole thing, Coach, is can they stay there?
Well, Slim, I'm glad you asked because I got a take on that. And you're spot on correct, Mildred. Style points are going to count, especially for Cincinnati, because they're non-Power 5. And I believe they're going to move up in that 4th spot.
Okay.
Here's my take. I still believe Alabama is the best team in FBS. No question about it. I look for them now with their back to the wall. For Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide, there is no margin of error. I believe they will hold serve in the SEC West and get to Atlanta with only one loss. Georgia still has to play Kentucky, and then they've still got to play Florida in the biggest cocktail party in Jacksonville. I think they do run the table on the east side, and I think they meet in Atlanta. Alabama with 1 defeat, Georgia undefeated. And Slim, I believe Alabama still beats Georgia, and they will get that 1 and 2 position. Then it gets a little dicey after that.
Okay.
Cincinnati will run through the American Conference like poo-poo through a goose.
Right.
And I believe that on the strength of what they did on the first Saturday in October, going to South Bend, Indiana, and beating Notre Dame 24-13, I think they will maintain that 3rd spot. That 4th spot, I believe, will go to a team in the Big Ten, provided they either have a perfect record or just 1 defeat. And that could go to Michigan. It could go to Penn State, even though they were defeated yesterday by Iowa. It could also go to Michigan State. It could also go to Michigan. And it could also go to Ohio State.
You know what, Coach? You made some valid points right there, because watching that Oklahoma-Texas game, I mean, you want to talk about some grass basketball. There were 1,178 yards of total offense combined on both sides.
Come on,
you know that was the highest scoring Red River Rivalry showdown in the history of the match.
Come on, Rebel Slim. You preaching to the choir. Listen. I have said it all along, and you're spot on correct. 1,178 yards of total offense. Oklahoma put up 662 yards of total offense, but newsflash, it took that. Texas put up 516 yards of total offense. And Slim, I'm telling you right now, Oklahoma is going to run the table through the Big 12 Conference. They are. But the Big 12 Conference is soft as Charmin toilet paper.
The toilet paper, Coach.
It's soft as Charmin toilet paper. And I think that the committee is going to see that. Oklahoma will win the Big 12. Whoop-de-doo. Texas,
let me ask you.
Hear me well. Texas lost to Arkansas 40-21. The Big 12 is soft. And I think that the committee is going to see that. And at the end of the day, what Cincinnati did on the first Saturday in October, October the 2nd, in South Bend, 24-13. Mark that down. That could define the CFP's selection. Because I'm telling you right now.
Basically what you're saying, Coach, is whatever Oklahoma has done from the beginning of the season to the end, it's not going to matter. Because of what Cincinnati did October the 2nd in South Bend, taking down Notre Dame, they are going to go ahead and secure it. They're going to go ahead and secure a Final Four spot. Leave Oklahoma out undefeated, and they're not going to get in.
Exactly. You dadgum Skippy.
That's tough, Coach.
I'm telling you now. And as Richard Pryor said, and I'll tell you another thing. Let me tell you. The committee's tired of it. Lord knows I'm tired of it. I've watched Oklahoma year after year. Walk right through the Big 12, beat Texas again in the Big 12 championship, or beat Iowa State again in the Big 12 championship. Get to the playoffs, meet up with them tough boys, especially them tough boys from the SEC, and it's a wrap. I think the committee is tired of it, and I think a change is going to come. Slim, my brother, the great Bum Phillips, Houston Oilers head coach. Love you, Blue.
Love you, Blue.
Bum Phillips once said, there ain't but two types of coaches, them that's fired and them that's going to get fired. Well, Slim, we're going into week 5 in the National Football League. Right now, Slim, tell me whose buns are starting to get a little toasty.
I'm going to give you 3, Coach.
All right.
First off, Coach Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin. He has not won a playoff game since 2016. And the Steelers haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2010. This is the worst Mike Tomlin coached roster that he's ever been a part of in his 14 years. They just got awful, Coach.
Oh, they are bad.
That's number one.
We've talked about Ben Roethlisberger. They're bad, Slim. They're bad. Who else you got?
Coach, the Vikings head coach, Mike Zimmer. In his 7 seasons, he only has 2 playoff wins. Number 3, I think we all can agree with this, Matt Nagy. For allowing Justin Fields to get sacked 9 times in that blowout, absolute abysmal game against Cleveland, 26-6 in week 3.
Like you got that boy killed.
God damn, Coach. That was so bad. Coach, those are the hottest seats in my take in the NFL. What do you think?
Well, Slim, I think you spot on correct with those 3. And now you do know something's bound to happen in Jacksonville.
You think, Coach? That's obvious.
Something bound to happen in Jacksonville. Come on now. And right soon. But I tell you, Mildred, there will be 3 coordinators, 3 coaches who are coordinators as we speak in the 2021 season that will get a head coaching appointment for the 2022 season. And they are Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator at the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens, yes, sir.
Eric Bieniemy,
okay,
offensive coordinator, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, yep.
And Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, yes, sir.
Now, the closer it gets to Black Monday, the more you're going to be hearing about Josh McDaniel.
It happens every year.
It happens every year. No question about it. Josh McDaniel, offensive coordinator, New England Patriots. But here's the deal. Bill Belichick is hanging around still to eclipse Don Shula's all-time win record of 328 wins. And at the pace Bill Belichick's traveling right now, it's going to take him about 3 to 4 years to do that. Is Josh McDaniels willing to wait? That's the big key. Stay tuned on that one. Now, I said all along that I was pulling for Tampa Bay. I've been with Tampa Bay from Jump Street, and here's 2 reasons why. Number one, I believe that Bruce Arians, one of the most brilliant offensive minds in football, if he can put together back-to-back Super Bowl victories, 2 Lombardi trophies will usher him right into Canton, Ohio. And if Bruce Arians can hand over the reins to his successor, that will be Todd Bowles. They have a history, Mildred. Todd Bowles played for Bruce Arians at Temple way back in 1985. They've got a history.
They sure did. You know what, Coach? You and Todd also have a history.
We do.
You guys were Doug Williams' coordinators. You were the OC, and he was the defensive coordinator in 95, right?
97.
97. Yeah, Coach. Yeah.
97. Morehouse College. College. No question.
Morehouse College.
In fact, old son of mine, you also have a history with Todd Bowles.
I do.
1997, we're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you're just starting to learn how to talk. And every time your mama would bring you up to the football office, every time you saw him, you'd come running up to him going, Tabo. Yeah. So yeah, you guys got a history. Slam, we're in the playoffs in Major League Baseball.
Oh, yes, sir.
And the Boston Red Sox are tied with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Our beloved Houston Astros, H-Town in hell, are currently ahead of the White Sox of Chicago, 2 games to nothing. But Slim, they got to go back to Chicago. And the White Sox have the best 1-loss record in the American League. Now, here's my take. I believe that the Astros will defeat the White Sox. And they're going to go head-to-head with Tampa. And the Astros, I think, on the strength of their bats, Lord knows they ain't got no pitching, but on the strength of their bats, they will defeat Tampa Bay. But here's the deal, Mildred, and you remember I told you, the 2 best teams in baseball all around, when you're talking hitting, pitching, defense, and most especially closers out of the bullpen, the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I believe that either one of those teams, when they meet up with the Astros, will be the champions of Major League Baseball. That's my take.
Well, while you're folding, Coach, I'm still hanging strong with the Astros all day. I'm in H-Town. I'm taking the bats for the Astros and the pitching for the Dodgers. That's going to be your World Series right there.
Okay. Well, stay tuned because it's going to take 15, 16 runs for the Astros to do that.
Because you saying that like they're not built for that already.
Well, you are spot on correct, my brother. They could put up 15 to 16 runs. Slam, my brother, give a big hug and kiss to everyone from me up in Oklahoma City.
Will do. Hey, Coach, tell Mama I love her.
I'll do it, my friend. Good to see you.
Right.
Take care, sir.
All right, Coach. Take care.
My good and dear friend, Jerry Baldwin, former head football coach of the Ragin' Cajuns of Southwest Louisiana of Lafayette, and currently the pastor and CEO of New Living Word Ministries in Ruston, Louisiana, often says, I've been around the world twice, spoke to everybody once. And keeping that same frame of thinking, in my 33 years of coaching college football, 2 things. Number 1, people are people, no matter what race, creed, or color. We didn't do a show last week because Slim and I were in Memphis, Tennessee, attending the Hightower family reunion in Memphis, Tennessee. And the highlight of that trip for me was touring Slave Haven. Slave Haven was a home built 3 blocks from the Mississippi River by a white abolitionist named Jacob Kerbel. He built that home to aid and assist runaway slaves to receive their freedom through the Underground Railroad. Number 2, white privilege is still alive and well in these so-called United States of America. Evidence of that fact that Urban Meyer is still the head football coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the movie A Time to Kill, Matthew McConaughey plays Samuel L. Jackson's defense attorney. Samuel L. Jackson is on trial for the murder of 2 white men who raped his 10-year-old daughter. In the final scene of that movie, Matthew McConaughey asks each member of the jury to close their eyes and picture a 10-year-old girl being raped, beaten, urinated on, and attempted to be lynched and survived, but for the grace of God. So, close your eyes and picture a head football coach who has been on the job for 9 months, and in those 9 months has alienated and offended office personnel, equipment managers, athletic trainers, and assistant coaches. He has lost the trust of the owner of the team and the respect of the players on the team. And rather than accompany that team home after 19 consecutive losses, the last 4 of which came under your leadership, he was seen on the dance floor with a woman who was not his wife, and she's backing that thing up. Can you see it? Can you picture it? Now, imagine he's black. And hey, that's how I see it. 6 o'clock, straight up and down.
Yay. All right, Coach. That's how we see it. And that's how it is. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Do it again.
Can't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Homespun Sports. Sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. Make sure you leave a like, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, and have that bell turned on with the little things on the side so you can always stay up to date with our premium content. It's all live, it's all real, and it's all for you. We love you. Thank you guys so much again. And hey, Coach.
Yeah, my buddy.
Let's go ahead and get up out of here, dog.
My brother, just like they came. What he said.